How's it going, everybody? Rybread here today, and we're going to be continuing our Buffalo Sabres GM mode. Now, I did read some of your comments, and I completely goofed. I was looking too much at overall, and I went too quickly through free agency, and I missed out on the guy Jaden Schwartz. And that probably would have been that perfect first-line sniper. So I did some pre-scouting and trades, and you guys said to trade Okposo because he might not make it at his current overall through the entire season, so get something out of him now while we still can. And I really agree with that. Kyle Okposo, he's a power forward. I mean, he's a pretty good player, but at 33, I don't know how much longer he's going to be playing at this level, and he's got 2 years left, so I don't really want him until he's 35. So I know I missed out on Jaden Schwartz in free agency, but I think we can still get him and get a pretty good deal out of it too. So I'll just go ahead and I did some pre-scouting. I know this trade goes through, so we'll go ahead here and throw the guys up from our side on the board. Okposo and then Orr, and then a 4th round pick, I believe it was. A 4th round pick, there we go, to the Carolina Hurricanes for Mr. Where is he? Come on. He's a forward. He's Mr. Jaden Schwartz up here. He's their #1 guy. He's a pretty good player, although I would have liked to see his shooting category in the 90s, but I definitely think he's going to put up a solid amount of points all season, and somebody that'll definitely help out the roster as is. Let's see here. In the previous couple seasons, how has he simulated? So he doesn't put in a ton of goals, actually, guys, if you look at that. But I still think I'd rather have him than Kyle Okposo. He's pretty darn good, so we'll go ahead and acquire him. And then a defenseman prospect, where he is, Ulf Bacher here. An 80 overall, top 4 potential defensive defenseman, but he's got some good puck skills and shooting and skating, and so he's a pretty good defenseman. He's only 21, like I said, medium top 4 at 80, so that would be just another prospect to add to the system here. So let's see. Will this trade go through? And there we go. There we go. We got it done. And we'll go ahead and just do best roster for now. And then there's one more trade to be made. Now, this one is more long-term rather than right now. I definitely think we have a roster the roster to continue playing very well. And maybe even win a 3rd Stanley Cup in a row. But this is definitely looking towards the future. So let me go ahead and show you the guy. Actually, I'll just go ahead and show him to you. Oh, I hit B. I'll show him to you actually right now since I screwed up there. Let's go ahead and show you him right now. I looked at this guy. I was looking through players to trade for, and this guy, well, I mean, he's not the most impressive right now, but guys, look at his passing and offensive awareness. This is a guy that's going to put up points for us. His skating is fantastic, and his defense isn't too far off. Now, I know he's 22, which means I'd like to see him be closer to an 80 than a 77, but if we get some good growth from him throughout the season, I think this guy could be a great player for us. And I think the only thing that's really holding him down is his physical category. Of course, I'd like to see the defensive awareness up there a little bit, but he is a true offensive defenseman. So let's go ahead and add him and that 4th, and then we're going to go ahead and get rid of a guy that you guys were okay with me trading in Jake McCabe, who is an 83 overall. He's 27, so he's not nearly old at all, but a defensive defenseman, top 6 guy, and we have Brendan Gooley in the system too at an 81, who's still got potential to grow, so I'd like to give him the chance instead of Jake McCabe. And McCabe, we'd have to retain some of his salary here as well, but he's on an expiring contract, so we're going to go ahead, and I think it's just bumping it up to $1 million, because that's not going to handicap us too much. 1 million, yep, there we go, that works. So let's go ahead and get this trade done. I really think this Brandstrom guy, I mean, I saw his passing and offensive awareness, and I instantly thought that he's a stud of the future. He's going to be a guy that puts in a bunch of points for us. And if you go check out his stats, he hasn't played in the NHL, but in the AHL last year, he put up 73 points, which, is the AHL, I understand, but still, he's a defenseman putting up 73 points. That's just ridiculous. I can't wait to have this guy on the team. And look at he definitely improved his plus-minus, which means his defensive side of things are growing. And he's yet to get injured down there in the AHL. So you know what? Enough talking. Let's just go ahead and send this trade through to Pittsburgh, sending Jake McCabe to Pittsburgh for a potential defenseman. and a 4th-round pick. So we basically just, we're neutralizing our 4th-round pick because we traded one and we got one. We got 2 defensive prospects, Jaden Schwartz for Kyle Okposo. We did have to give up Orr, one of our own defensive prospects, but I think these other 2 guys are going to be better than Orr. And then McCabe is just kind of, he's just kind of there. He doesn't really have a spot. Let's see, we have 19 players on the roster right now. Let's go ahead and go defenseman. So we want to send Bakker and Bronstrom down. Bakker is now down to a 79, probably because he's a little bit nervous. Yeah, he's not quite as happy as he was, but that doesn't matter to me. You know, he can grow. He's a defensive defenseman, and then Bronstrom here is a 76, 92 passing, 91 offensive awareness still, so it wasn't his overall, or morale that was affecting his overall too much. So that actually is, not having them drop off too much is definitely good. Oh yeah, we need to call up Brendan Gooley. Call him up to the NHL, and we still have 8 million in cap space because Jaden Schwartz's contract is actually much lower than Kyle Okposo's. It's Okposo was $6 million per year, and Schwartz is at $4.25 million. And I did see you guys said trade Dal Call for a more defensive person down there on that 3rd line. I'm okay with him right now, just because we have Baptiste on that line as well. So we'll go ahead, and I think he'll be able to cover up for any mistakes Dal Call makes. And it's not like Dal Call is bad at defense. You know, he's got a decent defensive awareness. But oh wow, actually Baptiste isn't good at defense as I thought. So if this line becomes a minus line, we might have to move one of these 2 guys. I'd rather move a guy like Nicholas Baptiste than Dal Call, but you know, who knows how everything's going to go for us. So actually, hold on, this is not the line I wanted. There we go. I'm going to leave Jaden Schwartz on that 2nd line just because I like the idea of having Nylander and Reinhart feeding Eichel. I'm going to turn Eichel into a sniper and then turn Nylander into a playmaker. Jaden Schwartz here on that 2nd line. He fits right in. He's got the all upper 80s, 88, 89, just like Ryan O'Reilly and Jack Roslovic do. I know he's listed as a 1st-line forward, so that's why we're going to go ahead and move, not Nylander, we're going to move Reinhart down and switch him for Schwartz. So now we have Eichel and Nylander and Schwartz on that top line, and he might actually provide a boost, much-needed boost to our power play, because if you guys remember last season, our power play was really quite weak. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and you know what? There's only one guy I have to fill in here, and it's Brendan Gooley gets his shot this season in the NHL. So there we go. We now know we want Cam Fowler with Ristolainen and then Myers with Bean. Perfect. As far as, is there anything else to fill out? I like this as is, because I think Cal Foote is going to be able to put some pucks in the back of the net, and Jake Bean as well. So maybe we might need to find some better guys for this 2nd defensive line here on the power play, but that should be it. Oh, they put Nylander on here. Of course they did. I got to switch him off. I like McNeely there. Let's go ahead and throw, actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and throw Marner here just because I like Marner's face-offs in his defensive game. So, and he wants more ice time. So the more ice time we can get Marner, the better. And then Roslovic. I'm kind of okay with this. Well, actually, no. You know what? I'd rather have the better face-off guy, you know, on second thought. All right, guys, so those are the lines there. I think I'm really happy with these lines. Now that we got Jaden Schwartz, I'm just going to go ahead and make Eichel a sniper and Nylander a playmaker real quick. I can show you guys that so you guys don't think I screw with anything. Best lines down here in the AHL. Ulf Bakker has become the captain and now is an 80 overall. And then Eric Brandstrom is up there as well. And there we go. So we're all set down here as far as defensemen for us. And then goalies, so they have Bill Flood starting for us. So hopefully Bill Flood grows just a little bit and he can become that starter maybe even by next season for us. Who knows how he'll grow. Next things next is to make Eichel a sniper and Nylander a playmaker. Edit player here. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. And then we can actually maybe go ahead and get the entire season simulated here in this video. Unless it becomes a weird season and I might have to stop at the trade deadline to see if we need to trade for anything. So details, let's go ahead here and make him a sniper. We'll go ahead and continue. And then Nylander is the next guy. So a lot's going on here at the beginning of the video, and hopefully it ends well for us during the simulation. And then Nylander here, yeah, we got to make him a playmaker because he's definitely a playmaker, not a two-way forward because his defensive categories are not the greatest, and no way in hell is he a power forward. Playmaker, there we go. Save, and we're all set. And we should be able to go ahead and get the season underway with. Actually, it's preseason, so I'm going to go turn off injuries, and then we'll go ahead and simulate the preseason. I'll turn injuries back on. League settings. God, there's so much to do. I forgot about how much there actually is to do before the season. Injuries off, because I don't want somebody getting hurt in the preseason. Let's go ahead and get this preseason simulated with. We'll see how the lines actually do. It's hard to gauge in preseason because you never know exactly how other teams are going to be playing their players. Because I know the computer does some weird things. They'll play like backup goalies, like Bill Flood might play like 3 games, you know, if we were a computer-controlled team. So who knows? We lost to Boston, which is unfortunate because I was kind of hoping we would not lose too many games here in the preseason, but you can't really read into preseason too much. Oh, and another topic that I wanted to cover with you guys. We are close on 100 subscribers, so thank you all for your support. I was thinking about doing something fun for 100 subscribers, and I was thinking about doing a live stream. If you guys want to see a live stream, go ahead and comment, or if you guys have any ideas what I should do for 100 subscribers, go ahead and let me know. But I definitely think once we hit 100 that it should be something special and should be something fun. So let me know what you guys want to see. If you like the idea of a live stream, go ahead and let me know because I've got a whole bunch of stuff set up for that. And, you know, so yeah, so thank you guys so much for subscribing. It's been a lot of fun so far, and we've gotten pretty far with all of our series here. So let's go ahead and get into the regular season here. Our line should be all set. Let's go ahead and simulate through the first month. First game against, we got to do a scouting assignment now. Let's go ahead and scout we already scouted the OHL, did we? There's defensemen. We'll go ahead and scout for 3 weeks because there's only 12 of them. Because I still think we need defenseman prospects. You can never have too many prospects. And versus Tampa Bay, we lose 4-1 to start off the season. What a way to start, 4-1 loss. All right, Detroit, we win 5-3. And Detroit's a pretty bad team. I mean, I looked at their roster, and it's not looking good. 4-1 win over the Islanders, that's good for us. Vancouver's also 2-1. We lose 4-1 to them. All right, versus Ottawa, this is a big divisional opponent. 3-2 they are. 7-3 wins. And then we get shut out. So we couldn't save a little offense for that New Jersey game. Oh, did Jaden Schwartz was that? Oh, he's hurt with a mild concussion. Are you serious? Oh God. Let's see here. Now it's time to call up Zykerless. Is it his time to shine up here, or Otto Makinen? You know what? Let's go ahead and call up Zykerless. Why not? I think he'll be pretty good for us. And then we'll go ahead and I'll edit the lines and I'll be right back. All right, guys, here are the lines. I just moved Dal Call up a little bit. Maybe he'll get some good growth and he'll play well on that second line, and maybe he'll make a push to be a second line forward. And then nothing else has changed as far as the power play is concerned. Now Reinhardt's back up here on top, and we have Marner here on the power play. Unfortunately, Marner might get the short end of the stick because he's the odd man out. He's the lowest overall, but he's still listed as a second line forward. So with that low elite potential, I don't know if he's going to grow. Carolina, we go ahead and win. And Jaden Schwartz is available to play in the next game. I'm going to go ahead and simulate this game and then stop the simulation. 2-1 win versus the Florida Panthers. And is he healthy yet? I don't want to put him in. Yeah, he's recovered from his injury. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and edit the lines, and I'll be back. All right, guys, lines are all set back to where they were. I stopped here just because we're 8 games into the season, so we're a tenth of the way through the season, and our locker room chemistry is up to 80%, and we are tied for first in the division, although we've got a couple games. We've played a couple more games than Tampa Bay has, so they're usually a good roster. Let's see how we can close out this month here. 1 game against Montreal, and then we can, you know what, it's not worth checking the stats just yet because it's only been 1 month. Let's go ahead and get into the second month of the season, and then we can go ahead and start looking at who's doing what for us. Yeah, so I got to go down here and go up to the first. So right now we are 5-4, so a pretty average first month. Not too bad, though. I would have liked to see 1 or 2 more wins, but you know, maybe we can pick those up here in this month. And then we're back to 500 after a 4-3 loss to LA. Pittsburgh and New Jersey back-to-back. Let's see. And we beat Pittsburgh 4-2, and we lose in overtime, in a shootout actually, to the New Jersey Devils. And then versus Ottawa, we win 3-2 in a shootout. There we go, getting some points in a row here. Versus Calgary, who's a pretty good team, we win 3-2. So it's nice to see that we're beating some decent teams here. Versus Toronto, there we go. We 4-1 win, hell yeah. And then we get crushed by the St. Louis. It was a pretty good fight by us, but we let up 7 goals, so defense. Ooh, and then lots of goals against us. And Jaden Schwartz is upset because of his individual performance, and Marner's upset because of his ice time. There we go, a 3-1 win, and then a 3-0 win. Hell yeah, there we go. You know what? I don't want Marner getting pissed. I'm going to go see the lines really quickly. Okay, the scout is done anyway, so that's a perfect time to stop. Defenseman for 3 weeks because there's only 11. I feel like there's not actually that few prospects in the system. And our locker room chemistry is down to a 79. All right. Oh, I think I left Zykerless up and he is just scratched. So that's my bad. Special teams, let's go ahead and move Roslovic up here and then Fowler down there. And then we'll go ahead and put Mitch Marner on the right wing. Yeah, Zykerless, I accidentally left him up here. We'll go ahead and put Marner in there. Oh, I forgot to put him on the penalty kill too. I completely forgot about Marner. Shoot. Now they have Baptiste and McNeely. Okay, interesting. Maybe Baptiste has had a little growth as far as defensively. I'd like to see, actually, you know what? Do we have a better defensive guy there? Sam Reinhart defensive? I mean, he's really good defensively, so maybe. Left wing? Oh, Foligno. Foligno's got a good, you know, we'll go ahead and throw Foligno there just because he's a good power forward for us. Foligno and Marner, and then on the three-man PK instead of Roslovic, we'll go ahead and throw Mitch Marner in there as well. And then I'll have to go send down Zykerless, and then we'll go ahead and continue simulating and then check out the stats so far as we are 2 months into the season. There we go. Hold on. Yep. And Zykerless, go ahead and send him down. Perfect. And no line changes. Oh, I got to do some line changes down in the AHL because he's now back in the AHL. Oh, so many line changes. And looks like we have Linus Ullmark is going up against the Detroit Red Wings. So hopefully he does well, and hopefully he's not the reason we aren't doing as well as you might think. We are still doing pretty well though. We're right behind oh god, when did it get so tight in the Atlantic? We're also like in the same area as far as points are concerned. We're about almost 20 games through the season, so we're almost a quarter of the way through the season. 2 more games and we will be. So let's go ahead and simulate 4 more games versus Detroit, Philly, at Toronto, and at San Jose. Versus Detroit, we take a 6-2 win. So there we go against Philly, who's a pretty good team. And Ryan O'Reilly's got a mild concussion. All right, guys, I got to go edit the lines. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I just moved Mitch Marner up and called up Otto Makinen this time to see how he does. He's got some pretty good puck skills and senses, so maybe he'll go ahead and put some goals in for us. Who knows? I don't know. He's on the 4th line. Not too concerned about it. Best line's down here in the AHL. And let's go ahead and keep going with the simulation because we're about to stop soon anyway. Versus Philadelphia, we lose 6-5, unfortunately. Come on. I'd like to win these next 2 games or at least get 3 out of 4 points versus Toronto, who's 9-11. We lose in overtime, and then San Jose, who's a pretty bad team. Actually, their average this year, 11-11-1. And then Ryan O'Reilly is able to play in the team's next game, and we lose 4-3. So we're 12-9-2, and that puts us at 26 points, which is good enough for a wild card spot. So we were hopped by both Ottawa and Montreal during that little stretch there, but we are still in the playoffs. Let's go ahead and check out how everyone is simulating. Let's see here. Nylander, wow, he's got the most points on the team. Are you kidding me? He's 26 points in 23 games. Eichel's 24 in 23. Damn, that's good. And then Reinhart's got 21 in 23. Schwartz doesn't actually have the goal totals I was hoping for, but he's got 14 points there on that second line. Roslovic is there as well. And as far as defensemen, Kel Foot's actually got 10 points, followed by Risto, who has 8 assists. And then goaltending-wise, how are we doing? Matt Murray, are you doing well? 912 save percentage, okay, with a 2.52 goal against average. It could be better, but I'm not going to complain too much about it. I mean, he's not the reason we're losing. And Linus Ullmark here, not doing too hot. We might want to go and acquire a backup goaltender at the trade deadline just because. But there we go. So Ryan O'Reilly is able to play in the next game. I'll edit the lines, and you guys should see the simulation next. All right, guys, so lines are back to normal. I did make one small tweak as far as the power play. I left the defenseman as is, and now it's Reinhart, O'Reilly, and Roslovic on that second line. So, because Cal Foot is putting in points, and he's putting in the most points out of our defensemen, so I'm going to leave him on that second line power play, give him that second line power play time. But nothing much else has changed. I did notice that our second line is actually our minus line. So I don't know what that is, whether the addition of Schwartz just made it that much worse, but our third line is actually a very good plus, and then our fourth line is a slight minus. So maybe it'll change as the season goes on, and then the first line, guys, is a plus line as well. So we'll have to see. That second line isn't faring too well, surprisingly, with Roslovic and O'Reilly there. I would have assumed that that team, or that line specifically, would be pretty good defensively. So let's go ahead and simulate up to January 1st and see how this month of simulation goes for us. So we got a game against Edmonton coming up here. Let's see. Ooh, they're not. Oh my God, he broke his wrist now. Are you fucking kidding me? Stop getting injured. I traded for you, you piece of shit. And Cal Foot got injured too. What the fuck? All right, I'll be right back. So guys, here are the new lines now that Cal Foot and Jaden Schwartz are both hurt. I might just stop this video at the trade deadline because I don't want it to be too long of a video for you guys. So I actually moved Marner up to that second line and then made Dal Call the center on the third line just because he's got 78 faceoffs, which is pretty good. I'm surprised that he's that good at faceoffs as a left winger. Defensively, we're gonna actually put Myers on the top pairing, and then put Fowler on the second pairing just to see. No, we're not. Never mind. That's stupid. I did call up Brandstrom because he was doing really well down there in the AHL. So let's see if he can bring some of that up to the NHL. And then on the power play, it's Myers and Bean now, and then Marner, O'Reilly, Roslovic, and then our first line is still the first line. So best lines down here in the AHL. Let's go ahead and keep the simulation going. Hopefully we can beat Edmonton. And yes, we did win. We won 1-0. So very good defensively, and nice job, Matt Murray. And then we lose 5-1 to Calgary. Then against Minnesota, we won 7-2. So lots of offense, actually. And then Zykerlis has gotten injured with a neck. Ooh, ouch. Best lines down there in the AHL. That's not too worrisome for me. Versus Washington, who's a pretty average team. We lose 4-2. But are we going to be able to bounce back and beat Winnipeg? They're 16-9-1. They're a good team. And Zykerlis, screw it, best lines down there in the AHL. We lose 4-2 to them. Amateur scout calling. God, there's been so many pop-ups in this video. It's been quite annoying. Let's go ahead and scout forwards for a month because there's 24. Versus Ottawa, a really good team in our division. We lose 6-2. We are losing quite a bit lately. Cal Foot is back, so you know what? I'm going to go best lines, and then we'll be right back. All right, so lines are as much close as they were to the beginning. Hopefully Jaden Schwartz can come back soon versus Edmonton. We lose 3-2, and then versus the Rangers, we finally get a win. And Cal Foot is now officially healed from his injury. Now let's see if we can go on a winning streak, boys. We lose in a shootout to San Jose. So this is not a very good month for us, not at all. A 4-2 loss to the Avalanche, but then a 3-2 win over Pittsburgh. Can we beat Florida and Boston, two divisional opponents? Come on, I'd rather be 18 and 15. Now we lose 1-0, and then against Boston, we lose 5-2. So a shitty month. Like, that was the worst month in a while for us. Stop simulating. Thank you. So we won how many games that month? 1, 2, 3, 4 wins that month. That was just awful. We are probably out of a playoff spot. We are now under 500. So it looks like the trade for Jaden Schwartz looks like a big mistake at this point. We apparently were better off with Kyle Okposo. You know what? Let's go ahead and check out Kyle Okposo's stats over there in Carolina. As far as our stats are concerned, as we get to the halfway point of the year, really dipped off. Everyone dropped off in points. Nobody is scoring anymore, and that is very sad because we were point per game. So let's go ahead and check out Carolina. And their number 2 player is Kyle Okposo with 27 points, 12 goals, and 15 assists. And he's still an 88 overall. So I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with this team right now. Maybe it's the defenseman. I got to send that guy back down. I forgot to send him down. But yeah, I don't know what it is, what's going wrong with this team. I'm going to go ahead and check out players plus minus after I send him back down. So not morale. Worst player, yep, Brandstrom, send him down, perfect. And then we'll go best lines down there in the AHL, and I'll go ahead and check out the plus minus as well. So I want to make the playoffs again. I don't want to win back-to-back Stanley Cups and then not make the playoffs. So why did I go to player morale? That's just dumb. Is it our backup goaltending maybe? Are we losing a whole bunch of games with Allmark and net, and that's making everyone very upset? Or is it just because our defense or what? I don't know what it is, but there's got to be some reason as to why we're not doing well. Let's go ahead here and go check out the player stats. Locker room chemistry was up at 80% when we were playing well, and now it's down to a 77%. Let's see here. Back to player stats for us. Let's go ahead here, and everyone is a minus player except for Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner is the only one, or he's not the only one. Mitch Marner, Baptiste, Dalcal. So that third line is our only plus line. Everyone else is a minus. And then Gooley and Foote are both plus players. But our biggest minuses are Risto and Tyler Myers. So these guys are not playing well. They're playing really poorly for us, and they're our best defensemen too. So that's very, very upsetting. Reinhardt, and then Eichel, and then maybe having Nylander. Where is he? Where is Nylander? Is he? Yeah, he's a -1, so he's really not that bad of a minus player. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Actually, you know what? Let's go check out the team stats as well. I'll get up to the All-Star break or the trade deadline in this video, and then you guys let me know what I should do, because there's something needs to be done. I don't know if we need a more defensive presence. We need more defensemen. Goals for per game. We are at 2.8 in goals against per game. Wow, the Red Wings give up a lot of goals per game. We are actually not too bad as far as power play percentage is concerned. We're up at 22%, which is much better than last year. And then penalty killing percentage, which is still pretty good. So we're at 80.7%. So there we go. We're fine on the power play and the penalty kill, it seems like. It just seems like we can't stop. Like when we score a lot of goals, the other team scores more. When we don't score at all, the other team, or when the other team doesn't score, we don't score either. So you know what? I want to check out our goaltending. Do we need to go ahead and get somebody instead of Linus Ullmark? Rookie goalies. Linus Ullmark is 3-5-1 with a 3.16 goal against average. Not rookie skaters, goalies. There we go. 2.61 and a 9.08. So Matt Murray is shitting the bed hard, boys. Do we trade him for a different starting goaltender, or, you know, I'm gonna stay with him for now. But if Bill Flood has grown it all down there in the AHL, I might call him up over Linus Ullmark. Excuse me, boys. Sorry. Let's go ahead and check out the progress reports. Jaden Schwartz is out for 9 more weeks, too. Jesus. So as far as growth up here in the NHL, nobody has grown. And then in the system, Stephen Kearns, Graves grew a little bit. Keeler grew a little bit. Huberdeau grew a little bit. So here's all the growth. These are all players that I think we drafted recently. They're all 18, 19. Don't see anybody that I want to see up here. Cal O'Reilly, he's dropping off. Yeah, goaltending, and Bill Flood has not grown at all, so I don't know if he's going to grow during the season at all anymore. Hopefully he does. I'd like to actually be able to develop a goalie, but do we have to go out and get that #1 goaltender, boys? I don't know. Let's go ahead and simulate another month, and if it's another shitty month, I'm just going to call it there, and we're gonna regroup and just talk about what the hell this team needs. Hopefully we can play well this month, because we got a lot of games this month. Oh my God, there's a ton of games on the schedule. And Tyler Myers now has concussion, so we need to go ahead and call somebody up. All right, I'll be right back. All right, guys, I did call up Brandstrom for the injured Tyler Myers, because he only played in 5 games, and he had 2 assists. So hopefully he can help this team put more pucks in the net. Let's see how we do against the Islanders, a really good team. We lose 3-1. Come on, let's win some games now, boys. Tyler Myers is back. I'll be right back. Jesus, one freaking game. There we go, guys. Lines are all set. And then against Dallas, we win in a shootout, so we finally win again, and then we turn around and lose to the Chicago Blackhawks right away. That's very upsetting. I'm sick of this team losing. We were doing so well during the middle half of the season, or the beginning half of the season. All right, and we just went ahead and beat Montreal, which is a good win for us because they're within our division. 1 month of forwards in the WHL. That's fine. I don't care about trade offers. New York Rangers, a 3-2 overtime loss, so we did get a point there. Nashville, we went ahead and beat 4-2. Colorado, a really good team. A 4-3 shootout win, so this team is stringing some points together. There we go, versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, 19-19-6. We win 7-1. There we go. I think we're hitting our stride again. All right. A 7-4 win over Toronto. Perfect. Versus the Islanders, a 6-5 win. Hell yeah. Lots of points in a row. There we go. Keep it going, boys. Versus Washington, we lose 4-1. And then Tampa Bay, the #1 team in our division, we lose 6-1 as well. So only putting up 1 goal and letting up 10 in back-to-back games. Versus Anaheim, we win 5-1, so we get right back on it. And then versus Carolina, we win 2-1 in overtime. And boys, we are back up above 500 finally, with 54 points at the All-Star break. I would have liked to have 60 at the All-Star break, because that sets you up for a really good position, but let's see how we are in these standings. And we are 6 points behind Actually, the Senators are number 1 team in our division. We are 6 points behind Montreal for a divisional spot, but we are in a wild card spot right now. So if we just keep playing like we are right now, I don't want to change anything because the team is playing really well for us. So let's get up here to the let's go up here to this these 2 games, Washington and Pittsburgh before the All-Star break or the trade deadline. Excuse me, Tampa Bay. Go ahead and beat them in an overtime actually versus New Jersey, and a 5-1 loss. That's okay. Let's bounce back, boys. Home 2 games home over the weekend. Let's take it. There we go, a 3-2 overtime win, and then versus okay, we gotta wait for the game against Arizona, I guess. Let's go to the United States for 3 weeks. 14 forwards. Why not? Arizona, we lose 4-3. So Winnipeg, a really good team. They're about the same as we are, though. And we take it 7-4. There we go, at Vancouver, who is a phenomenal team. Jesus, they have 35 wins. Okay, we lose 5-4. I could see that. Versus Minnesota, who's basically in the same boat we are. We go ahead and beat them. Ottawa, we beat them. That's a huge win against the number 1 team in your division. That'll certainly help you make up some ground in the Atlantic anyway. Versus Nashville, coming up on Saturday. We have 30 wins. Let's get to 31 before 25. Let's win. Versus Nashville, we lose 4-2, unfortunately. But Columbus and Carolina and Montreal, and then that's where the simulation will end. Let's see if we can take 2 out of 3 here. Versus at Columbus. Ooh, Corey Crawford for Jean Mercier. Oh, God. This might be the trade I was looking for. Let's go ahead and edit this trade. Corey Crawford, who is listed as a backup. I know he's got a lot of salary. He's 37. He's dropping off. He's only an 83, too. Jeez. How's he playing this year? He's playing awful. And I don't want to give up these guys. I know they're not much. If you guys think I should make this trade, let me know. But I think there's better backup goalies out there that I could acquire. I appreciate that Chicago, but his contract is too much for 2 years. Columbus, we lose 4-1. Come on, let's take this game against Carolina. And then Montreal, a 5-2 win. Come on, let's get this one against Montreal. Come on, let's do it. All right, and a 4-3 win against Montreal sets us up at an 80% locker room chemistry, and oh wow, we're now 9 points behind Montreal. So the other teams in our division must have been playing lots of games. We must have had lots of games in. They must have had a lot of games in hand. But we are still securely in that wild card spot. So let's go ahead and check out the stats at the trade deadline here, and go ahead and see. Wow, Ryan O'Reilly is now our number 1 point getter. With 56 points in 60 games. Eichel's close behind him with 55 and 62. Nylander's got 53 in 62. Wow. So it must have been the emergence of Marner on that second line that boosted that second line to really, wow. That second line is performing really well with Marner. So, you know what? Ryan O'Reilly is probably benefiting from Mitch Marner, who's got 34 assists and is really happy. He's a plus 15. Jesus. And he's got really good locker room chemistry with Jack Eichel. So, you know what? I almost want to move Mitch Marner up to the first line and then have a second line of O'Reilly, Reinhart, and Roslovic. I think that would be, yeah. Because our first line needs some defensive help. Jesus, they're huge minus players. That's our issue. It's having Nylander on that top line, I think, with his subpar defense. Yeah, maybe putting Marner up there. Because Marner's the best plus guy we got. So maybe that would help us. Putting him up there on the top line. But anyway, as far as points are concerned, forwards, there we go. There are the points. So Roslovic, and then a severe drop-off after the top 6 guys. Delcal, Baptiste, McNeely. Okay, so McNeely and Olofsson have some points. Schwartz, well, he's injured. And Otto Makin in there too, and Zykerlist, whatever. And then defenseman, Rasmus Ristolainen's up to 28. Fowler's up to 25. Foot's up to 23, so he's putting in points. So hopefully we see a little bit of growth out of him. Jake Bean, Brendan Gooley, and Brandstrom. All right. And then goaltending-wise, here we go. The moment of truth for us. 906 and 891. Goal against average, 277. You can't have your starting goaltender encroaching on a 3 goal against average. So, I don't know, boys. Do we give up on Matt Murray and go ahead and trade for a stud star goaltender? Or do we just get a better backup and maybe Matt Murray will... I don't know what's going to happen here. You guys let me know what you think I should do, because there might not be a star goaltender out there, but we could always go and find one. Matt Murray is not performing at that level that you expect your starter to perform at. So let's go ahead and, yeah. So I think I want to move Marner up to that first line just based on the simulation and move a guy like oh, I don't know, Nylander down maybe? Just because he's so bad with a minus. Or, you know what, I'll move Reinhart down to that second line because apparently he's taken a hit with the minus for some reason. He's got a really good defensive category. Or do you think I should move Nylander down? Because I really want to move Marner up to that first line because he took off as soon as I put him on that second line. So maybe putting him on the first line with Jack Eichel and maybe Reinhart would help the team, or Jack Eichel and Nylander. So you guys let me know what I should do. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, we're coming up to 100 subs, so if you think that we should do a live stream or do something, I want to do a live stream. If you guys think we should do something else, go ahead and let me know. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure to subscribe so we can reach that 100 mark, and make sure to subscribe so you can figure out when I put up the next video. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I will see you in the next one.